This is Storefront. The legendary Tommy Lasorda coached the LA Dodgers for 20 years, leading them to 2 World Series championships during that time at the helm. Part of the reason why he is so revered among the Dodger faithful is because how he wore his heart on his sleeve when it came to his love for the franchise. He best put it into words when he said, "Cut me and I'll bleed Dodger Blue." And with that remark, Dodger Blue became so much more than just a color code. So when Alex Soto was trying to come up with a name for his company, a company that specialized in creating fan travel and experiences to away Dodger games, he knew he had found the winner with Pantone 294, the color code for Dodger Blue. In 2016, Pantone 294 had organized a trip to watch the Dodgers play at Yankee Stadium. They sold 1,555 tickets, maxing out 7 planes, 3 hotels, and 2 yachts on the Hudson. They then marched into Yankee Stadium and took over left field. Pantone 294 made their presence known by stretching an absolutely massive flag across the outfield. The story caught fire. Pantone 294 was published in nearly every major newspaper publication, including the LA Times, the New York Times, and ESPN. This was the game that put Pantone 294 on the map, and ironically, it's the reason that the Yankees refuse to sell them tickets now. Today we chat with Alex, the founder of Pantone 294, about the first trip over 10 years ago, way before their infamous Yankee Stadium appearance. What it's like booking an entire plane for next year's trip to watch the Dodgers play the Padres in South Korea, and the steady growth that has gotten them to where they are today.
All right, welcome to the podcast. On today's show, we're talking to Alex from Pantone 294. For people who don't know, what does your company do?
Thanks for having me. What we do is we organize Dodger trips all over the country. We support the Dodgers. We travel New York, Chicago, Miami, San Francisco. What we do is we get buses, we travel, we get planes, we get hotels, we do pre-parties, and we average about 17 trips a year, anywhere between 500 people and 2,000 people per trip.
I think one of the hardest things, at least for my mind mentally, is getting a group of people to show up. That's always a thing that's like, to me, when people can do that, it's pretty unbelievable. When you first did it, what was like your first desire to set something like this up?
I think for me, I'm right on point, right? Trying to do a family party or let's go to a concert, group of 8 people, it's so hard. Texting everybody and this and that. So I think the reason the business, Pantone, grew is because I started running as a business. So back in 2009, we were at Dodger Stadium in Left Field Pavilion. We had a bunch of season ticket holders and friends who were like, we should go to San Francisco, watch the Dodgers. Everybody kind of looked at me because like, well, you don't work. I'm like, I used to be an engineer for 99 Cent Sewing Store, so I had a lot of free time, right? Okay. A lot of free time. So then I called the Giants. I bought 56 tickets. I rented a bus.
And when you do that, just walk me through what that's like. You call. Who do you call?
You know, I get asked that a lot, right? How do you get tickets? It's easy.
Because it's not Ticketmaster.
It's not. So you go straight with the team. So what I did is you just
So the team has like a marketing.
And they have a group sales department.
That's right.
You just call them, hey, I need 56 tickets.
Yeah.
What's your credit card? Here you go. And then you get the tickets. Obviously,
that's easy.
That's the easy part. And then, you rent a bus. At the time, I was paying like $2,000 for a bus. That fits 56 people, round trip. We started
Same
doing
thing. You're just
turnarounds.
calling
Just calling
company.
people. Yeah, calling people, right? But it's one of those things that as the company grew, you can't just buy 1,000 tickets, right? You can't be a ticket scalper, right? So I have great relationships with all the teams, and the reason teams sell me tickets is I put packages together. I don't sell the ticket, I sell the experience. Because of that, in 2013, I needed a website. I needed content. I needed photos. I needed video. I needed to show teams that, hey, I'm not just buying thousands of tickets and then reselling for a profit. I'm putting packages together. I'm taking fans. And knock on the wood, 13 years, we've never had a fight, never had an incident, never had anybody arrested, which is, I think, why teams like still sells us tickets. But we are playing the Yankees next year. I called them.
You're paying them?
No, I called the Yankees.
Okay.
I told them I wanted tickets for next season because the Dodgers are going to play in Yankee Stadium in June. They said they can't sell me tickets, because we had an incident back in 2016 where I took 1,500 people. I sold out 7 planes, 3 hotels, 2 yachts on the Hudson River on 9/11, and we did the roll call at Yankee Stadium. Because of that, I went to ownership. They got embarrassed. We made LA Times, New York Post. I mean, it was everywhere. And because of that incident 6 years ago, they don't want us to go back. But I just told them, we're going.
What was the incident, though?
The incident is like we just took over Yankee Stadium. You Google Dodger take over Yankee Stadium. They didn't like that. Yeah.
That seems so odd to me. All right, so let's go back to like your first or maybe the moment like you realize you had a business, and so you put together this event. So it sounds like the logistics of it are kind of straightforward. You call the team, you get the buses in order, you're putting up a lot of money. Or are people, before you're buying the 1,000 tickets, are people already purchasing?
So I think for me, that 2009 trip, it was 80% was friends and family. So I only had to sell like 20 tickets to fill up the bus. Everybody had a great time. The Dodgers won 9-1. There was home runs by James Loney, Russell Martin, Matt Camp, Andre Ether. Following year, they were like, we should go back. So it was kind of easy, right? It's kind of word of mouth. I think I sold the bus within like 10 minutes. 2011, same thing. We just did another one. 2012, we did it again. At this time, it was just fun, right? Yeah. It was 2013 when social media started popping up. Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook. I don't like doing Mickey Mouse jobs. You know, if I'm going to do something, let's do it the right way. So I was like, we need a name. We need a website. We need a social media. So I got 4 of my friends, and I was like, what should we call ourselves, right? So we were on a group chat. Actually, back then, we didn't have group chats. So it was an email thread, right? Trying to figure out what's the perfect name. I didn't want nothing thuggish, gangsterish. I didn't want Army. I didn't want Crew. I didn't want anything like that. I wanted something that was symbolic to the Dodgers without saying Dodgers. Back and forth for 3 months. Kidding not. 3 months back and forth. We were the Blue Tsunami, the Blue Tidal Wave, the Heart of LA. And it's just dumb names, you know? I no disrespect to all my friends that were watching. They were dumb.
Yeah.
I was taking a shower one night. I always wear Dodger hats, and I was like, I need a new hat. I'm a graphic designer, so my background's computer drafting and design. I need a new hat, and I was going to go to Lids, and I was like, man, I wonder what the official color of the Dodgers is. So I stopped. Okay. I had shampoo in my hair. I didn't even wash my body. Turned the water off, went straight to the computer. I Googled what's the official color of the Dodgers, Pantone 294, and it just hit. I photoshopped a quick logo, and I was like, Pantone 294. That's it. People always talk about Dodger blue being so symbolic, Dodger blue this, Dodger blue that. Well, what is Dodger blue? It's Pantone 294. So I sent it out to my friends, and they're like, that's perfect. So that's how the name.
That's how it all started. Yeah. And then at some point, how do you personally start making money?
You know what? I think I started making money from the beginning, but I was only making like $5 per person. You know, it wasn't much. I saw the business, and when I started doing it in 2013, I started like bigger trips. I started doing my first trip, which was May 17, 2014. We went to Arizona. I sold 100. It was 200 tickets. I made a little bit of money. I did a trip in June, San Diego. I made a little bit of money. I did a trip in San Francisco. I made a little bit of money. But I used that same money to invest into the group. Going back to when I had my 4 friends they were helping me with the group, I was like, we need to invest. At the time, no one wanted to invest. No one wanted to, put money out there. I had just gotten laid off from 99 Cents Only Store. So I decided either go find another engineering job or go full-time with Pantone. I had like $7,000 in my bank account, and I invested it all. Got a website, social media. I started printing shirts, branding, marketing, flyers, going to events, letting people know. Marketing, guerrilla marketing, like in person. And that's how it started, So I think for the first 7 years, it was hard. I lost a lot of friends. Why? I was always, because I was always busy. I was always trying to grow it. I was doing social media. I was doing emails, planning. A lot of my trips, people don't know that we plan our trips almost a year in advance. Like a year in advance. For example, Boston, we're going to Boston August 25th.
Best city in the world.
I love Boston. It is second best city after LA.
Okay.
I sold out Boston back in November.
And how many people is that?
2,000 people.
So 2,000 people.
It's 1,900, 1,940. Let's round it up to 2,000. Fenway Park.
Best park in the world.
It is. It's small though. If you're on the plus side, you gotta squeeze in. But I love it. So yeah, I've been there 7 times. Love it. Love Boston.
Yeah, there's nothing like that. There's nothing like that city. It's so beautiful. It's crazy where the park is located.
You're from
walk
Boston,
to
right?
everything. Yeah, but it's also like growing up there. You sort of it's so special. I can think my favorite baseball game, oddly enough, was in L.A. So I went to a World Series game.
2018.
When it was and it was here in L.A. If you grow up in Massachusetts or New England, it's freezing in October. Yeah. And so any game is miserable. Like you're just there because you're a real fan, but you're cold. It's not fun unless they win, and then it's fun. But if it's just the middle of the game, you're freezing. And so it was the first time I was like having a beer. I was outside. It was sunset, and I was watching a baseball game, and it was like there's nothing like that.
And they won the World Series in 2018.
Yeah. When you talk to these teams directly, what's the hard part?
The hard part is first timers. For example, I've never been to, next season we're going to Detroit. Right? I've never done a trip near Detroit. It's calling, getting a rep, explaining what I do. Because a lot of people, first things, why do you need so many tickets? Well, this is what I do. We put packages together. We cross the country.
And it's still you doing that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I personally reach out to everybody.
Yeah.
Letting them know who we are, showing them videos, showing the website. Oh, okay. All right, cool. That's the hardest part. I think once we obviously we have relationships throughout MLB where everybody knows who Pantone 294 is. So once I call, it's kind of funny story. Let me go back to Yankee Stadium, the Yankees. So I called. I need tickets, right? Is this Pantone 294? I'm like, how'd you know? Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've only been here 2 years, but you're in our training videos. We're trained not to sell tickets to people like you, to groups like you, because obviously the Yankees don't like fan groups at Yankee Stadium. So it's one of those things that what's the hardest part is just reaching out, introducing yourself. Obviously through teams, there's turnovers, so you got new employees, new reps. But my biggest reps, the people who love me, who I have great relationship. People get shocked when I have a great relationship with the Giants. I have a great relationship with the Angels. Padres, it's a great relationship with the D-backs. So it's one of those things that I've been working with them such a long time that my credit card doesn't get denied. Yeah. We're all good, right?
I find it shocking to me that a team, I guess even the Yankee scenario, wouldn't want to work with groups because it's got to be maybe in their head it's like we have the demand anyway. We'd rather Yankee fans come support the Yankees.
It's one of those. I don't want to say we embarrassed them.
Yeah.
But we took over Yankee Stadium. It was just crazy. If people Google Dodger Yankee Stadium takeover,
but what's the downside of that? Like, why do they not like that?
It was just we were loud. We were the home team. We were the away team flying 3,000 miles.
That's amazing. Like that.
And it was in September. I think during that year they weren't in the playoffs. We were. That's the year that we lost against the Cubs. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things that we just took over Yankee Stadium, and I think that's the game that put Pantone 294 on the map.
I'm surprised these companies, even the high level, like so, even maybe the MLB doesn't. They don't look to partner with groups like you or with you specifically.
As far as us, no one's reached out. Luckily,
do you find that surprising?
Yes and no. Obviously, we've had as the company has grown, we've had a lot of big companies reach out. They want to sponsor. They want to put the brand with us, but we're not at the point where someone's said like, "Hey, like work with us 100%." I think we've been able to build our own brand where it's just us. There's no investors. There's no debt. There's no loans. It's kind of been organically where the company has grown, and we're profitable, obviously.
Yeah. When it comes to at a high level, you're sort of great at bringing people together, creating the experiences for these individuals. And then when I apply that, you can do that in anything, right? First of all, you can cover all sports.
Yeah.
But you can also do that even if it's like a getaway weekend somewhere. How have you thought about doing anything like that?
I also own a separate company called Fancation.
Okay.
It's the same thing.
Same concept.
At a lower scale. So it's called Fancation, a vacation for the fan. We've done Kings games, we've done Laker games, we've done Rams games, and I'm a Raider fan. So we started a group with Fancation, but now I'm part of the Oos Nation, where we're doing packages together to Vegas. The same thing I do for Pantone at a smaller scale.
Okay. College football, college basketball.
Everything. Anything that's sports. Obviously, Pantone 294 is Dodger Blue. I cannot take I know you're a Celtics fan, right? I can't take a Celtics fan and promote the Lakers Celtics game on Pantone when it's a baseball group. So I have Fancation, a vacation for the fan. We do all sports, every team. Anything that you're able to put a trip together, a group of 15 people, that's off on separate business.
Is it hard to get a plane?
Yeah.
How do you do it?
It's a lot of money.
How do you get a plane?
Who
do you call? You call United?
I've been doing pretty much.
You call United customer service?
The Padres. No, there's a special line. So obviously the Dodgers are playing the Padres in Korea next year, South Korea. I called Korean Airlines. Lucky for me, I live in downtown. There's a block office like 2 minutes away. Set up a meeting, and I'm talking to like the executive of the West Coast region of Korea Airlines.
How much does it cost to rent a plane?
There's two things. There's two things. Either you could charter a plane, which is from here to Korea, it's like $1 million each way, which obviously is not affordable.
$1 million, seriously.
If you take it on your own, or you could charter 80% of the plane, and that's how you get group tickets.
Which is how many seats?
It depends on the plane. I think on that one it's just like 400 people. So I'll be able to reserve like 200 tickets.
And what do you and you get each ticket at like
1,500 ballparkish. And that's a lot of money. It's like $250,000, $500,000.
Could you do it so that like if you keep doing this with them, they can put like your logo on the plane?
No, it's just
That's too much?
They fly 3 times a year. For them, it's just they could sell it anyways.
It'd be pretty cool though, wouldn't
It'd
it?
be dope. So I actually used to work with AN 570, and we used to do spring training trips to Camelback. And they would actually, because they have a partnership with the radio, with iHeartRadio, and Southwest would put the logo on it and put them on the chairs of every seat. As soon as you walk in, it looks badass.
What's your dream? What's the vision like?
You know what? My passion is sports and travel. For me, it's I've traveled the world. I love sports. I just came from Qatar from the World Cup. My passion is just traveling, learning cultures. Like when I travel, I don't like staying at hotels. I don't like staying at 5-star hotels, Marriott's, all that. I like to stay where the people live. I like to stay where the people eat. I like to learn about the culture. I like to learn how they live, and that's my passion of traveling, and then my passion of like sports, and I just combine it. For me, as long as I'm around sports, that's what makes me happy. But what really makes me happy is seeing people happy. Starting Pantone, there's a lot of people that don't have money. I learned that there's a lot of people that have never left LA County. So when you take them to San Diego, when you take them to San Francisco or Arizona, they're like, man, like I've never left LA. I love it. And I do payments. So it's
like
affordable.
a payment plan?
Yeah, it's like a payment plan, right? You leave a $20 deposit, and then everything's not due till like a month before the game. So it gives you time. It gives you like 6-7 months to like
So
save
you float
up,
that personally?
Yeah. So that's where I invest. So a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people think that I just call and like, oh, you get tickets and you sell them. But people don't know that I'm taking a risk. I got to drop like 6, 7, 15,000 per game. There's 15 games, and I got to front everything a year in advance. And people don't see that, right? So I gamble. If I don't sell the tickets, I eat it up. So my job is to, knock on wood, I've been able to sell every single ticket. My job is to be able to sell every single ticket, or else I'm out. So a lot of people don't know that.
When you think about most people, perhaps in our community, they really don't leave like 30 miles of where they grew up.
Yeah.
And when I think about Boston, I grew up 90 miles from Boston. And so just going to like a city, some people never get to experience that. And so you're sort of transporting people into a different world.
That's where I was going at. When I do these trips, on the trips and the games and the events, everything we put together, I'm always working. I'm always people watch. I love to people watch, right? I love when people are having fun. If you're having fun on my trip, I'm having fun.
What about things like concerts? Like Taylor Swift is here right now.
You know what? It's
She's
one of those
blowing
things. It's kind of
up.
hard, you know, because
ticket.
I can't tap into everything. My passion is sports.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to do anything like I tell my friends. I even tell all my employees, if there's a day that comes and this becomes a job, I want you to come and tell me so you can quit or for me to fire you. I want you to have fun. We're working, but we're having fun. If you're not passionate about it, it's a job. Right? I wake up every day like I want to go to the office. I want to reply to emails. I want to start planning. I'm passionate about it. So am I passionate about concerts? Yeah, you know, but it's like I'm not that passionate about it. Like my passion is sports. So I want to make sure I want to put the best packages available.
I guess my brain explodes when I hear what you're doing, and I'm like, how do I scale this? And I go, all right, cool. Let me get the Alex version of the Taylor Swift variety.
I mean, I'm sure there's groups
right?
out there. There's groups out there, I'm sure, at a smaller scale. I don't think there's no one doing it at the scale that we're doing.
That's what I'm saying.
You could find people doing sport packages, concerts, or Grand Canyon or Napa wineries, right? But it's like a little sprinter, 15, 20 people. Everybody could do that. But can you take 2,000 people to a winery? Can you take 2,000 people to a Taylor Swift concert? I'm sure you can, but you got to build it up. You know, it's taken me to where I got my first like real money. It took 7 years. I've been doing it for 13 years. The first 7 years, you know, every single dollar that I used, that I made, it went back into the business. I didn't touch anything. I had I was $200 in my bank account. The business had money. I didn't have money. I had a crappy BMW, no AC, no auxiliary cord. The windows wouldn't roll up, and I was already making money with Pantone. But every cent that I made went straight to the business.
Have you ever thought about doing like a brick and mortar or like a meetup spot?
Well, I do work with I Love Micheladas.
Yeah. Okay.
We're trying to do bigger events, watch parties. I think it hurt. COVID hurt everybody, right? You couldn't. So my business is sports and travel. During COVID, there's no traveling, there's no sports, there's no meetups. So after that, I think now the brands are coming back. Now I have been sponsored by Herradura and Tito's. We're having actually a watch party next week. It's one of those things that I want to do that. So which kind of leads me to like I have 3 phases. Phase 1 is to kind of build Pantone as big as possible, right? Make it huge, just thousands of fans. I only have like 125,000 followers on Instagram, but we're in LA. That number should be a lot higher, right? So my job is to tap into a new audience and just keep growing the brand. Phase 2 was to open up a sports shop. So my brother used to be the manager at the Dodger Clubhouse, where he helped all the stores in, the one in Hollywood, the one in Montebello, the one in Santa Monica, and he built it up, right? But I think it got to a point where he got tapped out. There was no more growth. So we decided to open up our sports shop. So we opened up a sports shop in East LA. It's LA sports, but it's kind of Dodger themed, right? So we have a lot of customization with Dodger items, jerseys and all that. So
Okay.
Phase 3 is...
And do you license like the MLB logos on that?
Yeah,
or-
everything's licensed. Everything's
Okay.
licensed. Yeah.
Got it.
So obviously we have licensed products, and then you have your custom jobs like custom shirts and this and that. Phase 3 is to open up a sports bar. So
careful.
it's almost
Careful,
I
big
know
dog.
it's hard,
Tell
but
me what it looks like.
I'm not there yet, right? We're there. The conversation just started, right? I think we have the audience. And the idea comes behind. There's no sports bar in LA. There's not that one bar in LA. There's not that Dodger bar. If you're from out of town,
What do you mean? So like when you say something like that, what's the problem with sports bars in LA?
they're small, no parking, traffic, distance. I think for us, it's not the money. We have the money. And if I don't have the money, I'm pretty sure I have investors. I'm pretty sure, like, because you own a couple of restaurants and bars, right? So, like, what's your biggest problem? You got to get people in the door, right? I think for us, we have the audience. If we were to open up a bar and say, hey, we're grand opening next week, Pantone bar, we would have a line around the corner.
Would you put it in like Chinatown? Where would you put it?
It would have to be like a 2-mile radius from Dodger Stadium,
Yeah.
right? Chinatown,
Lincoln Heights.
the Art District, Boyle Heights, East LA, that side of the town. But the problem is you got to find a location that has parking. I don't want a small bar. I don't want a big bar. You just got to figure out what's the right location for a bar.
Would you fix anything in particular about like the screens or anything like? And is there anything you don't like?
No, I think I love TV. So I think if I was to own 200 TVs, 300 TVs. I'm an electronic guy, so like if you have an 80-inch TV, I don't want a projector. I want a nice TV. So I think that's the problem we're dealing with is finding like location.
Who's your demo? Like if you were to say these are the people that are they Latinos? Are they like who are they?
Our business started with Latinos. Obviously, I'm Guatemalan. My parents are from Guatemala. First generation here. I was actually born here, but I only learned English. I was 10 years old. Funny, I don't know why.
That's
My
LA.
parents-
I
It
get
is,
it,
right?
yeah.
So I took ESL to like throughout high school. So my demo is 100% Latinos when I started. Remember, I was making $10 deposits, right? Affordable. My friends, at the time, they didn't have money, but they went. But there was like $100 to them was a lot. This 13 years ago, we're in our mid-20s, so for them it was a lot of money. It started off as all Latinos. As the company started growing, I started seeing just the white people, and then black people, and then Indians. And then I would always keep my prices cheap. It wasn't until 2017 that I did rooftops after the Cubs won the World Series. We couldn't get tickets to the opener. So we ended up getting the rooftop, $350. I didn't make a single dime off everybody because I thought that was a lot of money. So I got it for $350 and I sold it at $350. Why? Because I wanted to get content, just the experience. I don't want people thinking, man, he's selling tickets at $350. I sold out in an hour. Everybody had fun. I think that's the trip that kind of made me realize, like, man, like, it's not just lower level income people. I have all types of people. Anaheim as well. Anaheim 2018, I bought 2,300 tickets. And I want to say 80%, maybe 75% was white. So it's one of those things like, man, it's not just Latino groups, and it's so diverse. My group started with just Latinos, but right now you have people, 18-year-olds, you have 70-year-olds. I get a lot of requests. Hey, I'm on the older side. I have bad knees. Can you give me an aisle seat? I get that all the time, and it makes me feel good.
That'd be me.
You have older
I'd be
people
sending
going
you
to a
that
trip. Right?
email. What's like your most memorable trip? Did somebody propose?
It's gotta be New York, 100%.
took
Like
it
I said,
over.
we made the newspaper. It was just that trip. While we were there, I believe we started where we had like 10,000 followers. By the end of the game, we had 35.
Oh wow.
It was so instant. It went on TV. I mean, it was just viral. It's so viral that I remember I was a little bit intoxicated, and I got a tap in the back. Hey, I forgot her name. And I'm New York Times. Can you do an interview? And I had a partner back then, and she was like, I'll do the interview, because I was drunk, So it went on New York Times, Yahoo Sports, TMZ, LA Times. It was on Sports at LA, and it's one of those things that game is what people still talk about. Even though it was 7 years ago,
Sure.
people still talk about it.
Yeah. Do you guys do viewing parties at like theaters?
No. We
Would you?
again. I would. Again, it goes back to COVID, right? Like right now, I think everything's back to normal, whatever normal is. But before, we used to do watch parties all the time. But then I think after COVID, it kind of just like I don't want to say it just put me down where like you couldn't do events. We just started focusing on having better experiences on the road. Which leads me back. Why do I want to have events at different locations? I should just open up my own location. And that's where the idea came from.
Yeah, I mean, even theaters. Like if you can do watch parties and you can sell those are going to be super affordable. $20 a seat, you'll make.
I actually do have a partnership with there's different third-party companies that reach out to me every time there's screenings. They give me like 200 tickets. I've gotten tickets from Sony, Paramount, Lion, and every time there's a good movie, I get tickets. And instead of me selling them, I just give them right back. Usually, when people give me stuff, I'll get sweets. I give them right back. I try to when I'm handing anything for free, instead of me, for me, it's just like, oh, she's a sweet, right? For other people, it's like, ooh, it's a sweet. Oh man, it's like you see the eyes lit up. So anything I get for free, I give it right back.
I mean, I just think about the viewing parties. It could be such a moneymaker, so easy.
I think having a bar with a location that has big enough open space and big TV outside and LCD TV. I do viewing parties. I do opening day parties as well. And the money comes in, so that's why we're very focused on like trying to find a location. We just can't find one.
How big is the company now?
Before COVID, I used to have 13 employees. And then after that, it's kind of like I started laying people off, and then we started doing Zoom. So now we're down to 4 or 5.
What's next for you on this whole thing?
The bar.
The bar.
I need the bar. I think the bar is what's going to elevate us. Like I said, I already have the audience. Everybody's like, after the game.
Would it be a Dodger bar?
Yes and no. I don't know. I think obviously just because of this, like if you're a Dodger fan, you're a football fan. If you're a football fan, you're a soccer fan, right? So I cannot make it just baseball bar, right? What happens after baseball season? We got football season, right? Right now, Messi, we got the World Cup coming, we got Copa America, we got Copa Libertadores, and we got the Olympics coming up in the next 4 years here in LA. So the same audience the same people that we travel with Pantone, for example, as me as a Raider fan, 20%, 30, 40% of that same group are Raider fans. So it's easy for me to just transition them to football. Sure. LAFC fans, same thing. Then I'm all in, but my daughters are Mexican. 98% of my friends are Mexican. So when Mexico plays, that's another viewing party, right? So it's the same audience. We're all into sports and we love to travel. I wouldn't do it a baseball bar. I think it'd be just a sports bar.
What does it look like when I walk in?
TVs everywhere. People having fun.
What's on tap?
You know what? Here's the thing. I don't know. I don't like beer. It's not that I don't like beer. It's just I don't know how to burp.
I don't like beer
So
either.
I like Mayan. I get blown up, right? I'm a Jack and Coke guy.
Bloated,
I love Jack and Coke. Everybody knows it's like a funny thing. Like people already like they don't even have to ask. Here's your Jack and Coke. And it's like, and then like 2 minutes later, someone else brings me another Jack and Coke. So it's like I got 2. So it's like I gotta finish it or I gotta put it away. But I think it's one of those things that I don't wanna hole in the wall. But I think at the same time, I don't want something bougie. I don't want something fun. I want something that when you walk in, it's like you're going to feel like home. Like the thing about Pantone when we travel all over the country is the reason is not to make money. Obviously, it's a business, right? But the reason is if you are in St. Louis and the Dodgers aren't playing in St. Louis, I want you to go to the game and meet up with other people so that you don't feel like you're going there by yourself, right? The reason Pantone started is like to travel. We were all traveling separately, but why not travel together? It's kind of fun. Like me and you, we go to Boston, watch the game. We had a good time. But if me and you go with 2,000 other people, it's like, man, it was fun, right? So it's the same thing. I want to be able to build that culture all over the country. Everywhere we go, like we just came back from San Diego. I'll show you photos later. I had like 800 people there. And it was actually a nightclub. They're not even open. I called the owner, hey, I need a spot. Can you open? He's like, no, I don't open until 8 o'clock. I'm like, bro, I'm going to bring 1,000 people. You can make a lot of money. I'm not asking anything. I just need a place to party. He said no. 2 days later, he called me. Hey, are you still available? I Googled you. You're legit. I want to do business. Sure enough, he opened up. He made like 30 racks. Yeah. And I didn't get anything. I didn't ask for it. So I think I'm at the point where like I do all these events. I'm helping people make money.
Yeah.
Now it's my turn to make money.
You should make some money. You should make a commission off that. Yeah. A rev share. Is that what's next for you?
I got... There's a couple bars giving me money, yeah.
Would you raise capital or no?
For the bar?
For anything. For the bar?
I don't think for Pantone, Pantone, I don't think I need it. I think the money's there. I think to open up a bar, I probably need investors. I'm not in the bar industry. I do have one of my best friends owns a bar in Westminster. I'm not a bar guy. I don't know how to manage people in the restaurant business. I don't know if it's 16, 24 ounce, whatever. I know how to manage business. I don't know how to manage a bar. So I think I'd probably need an investor. Obviously, being in LA, trying to open a bar, you need land, right? You need a lot of money. So, of course, I'm open for that. I don't think I'd be able to do it on my own.
I love it. Well, tell people where they can find you, where they can go to the next experience.
It's kind of easy. Just go to Pantone on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Pantone 294, Pantone 294. And you go to our website, everything's there. It's our website is very easygoing, where all the details are there. It's very manageable. We're trying to rep our custom merch right now. So that's what's next right now. We're trying to put more content out there, more merch, and hopefully people buy it.
Yeah. Thanks, brother. Thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for the support and making it to the end of the episode. If you haven't already, please do a review and share the episode with your friends. If you never want to miss a beat on all things entrepreneurship, make sure to follow us on socials for daily content. See you next Tuesday for another great episode.